All right. Hello. Hi, everyone. Welcome. I can see you started joining me for our workshop. Thank you very much. Welcome. I'm Irina, the product and community specialist here at Zanda. Thank you so much for joining me for our live workshop this day or evening or morning, whatever the time it is for you. So thank you so much. Today we are talking about how to use the Zanda communication automations feature for keeping the clients engaged and coming back after their sessions or appointments with you. While we are waiting maybe for a couple more people to join us, just a few words about myself. If this is the first time you are joining us for the workshop, I've been working with Zanda for the 6th year now. I started my career here in the customer team, and now I am with the marketing team. I also help the product team to release the new feature around the Zanda knowledge base and the Zanda Academy. So really a lot of product knowledge lives in my head. And today I'm really looking forward to sharing some of it with you. So let me show you quickly what we will be talking about. And today in this workshop, we will be covering why the communication automations are really a cool feature to help you keep your clients really engaged and coming back after their appointments. And we will talk about how to create and use the communication templates for that, the SMS and email templates to mention. And we will talk about 2 different automation types that you can use for that. And one type is the post-appointment automation for the follow-ups. And another type is the recall automation. And we will talk about how they are different, what the difference is, and the use cases when to use which of the automation. I'll show you also the different tips about how to configure those automations, and also some little, maybe not secrets, but some pieces of information that are important to know about those automations, about their settings. So let us begin. I can see that a couple more people have joined us while I was doing this introduction. So before we start, maybe let me briefly cover maybe when you would want to use those type of automations and what type of scenarios, use cases, and so on. So first of all, when would you want to use the post-appointment automation? So for example, just the general check-in after an appointment, just to show that you want to know how the client feels about an appointment. So just send them a quick SMS just to say, hey, how have you been? If there is anything you want to share with us, just reply to this message. Nice and easy. Or if you're working maybe with children, with families, and so on, you may want to send them maybe some homework. And you can use an email template for that and share some files with homework with them that way. You can also send your rebooking reminders after an appointment, maybe share your client portal link, and also explain how to use the client portal for booking a new appointment, but also for managing other information such as reviewing invoices, looking at the forms and see what else needs to be filled in, or maybe sharing the files with you and your practice and so on. You can also use the post-appointment follow-ups, maybe for sharing some home care instructions for specific treatment types. And also you can use the follow-ups for sharing your feedback survey links. And I'll show you how to set up those templates just in a second. And you can also use the client recall automations to send, to trigger when the clients don't have any future appointments booked, and after a certain time period has lapsed, And for example, you can send a rebooking or recall reminder a month after their last appointment, or 3 months after their last appointment, or after a shorter time frame. For example, if there is a certain demographic group you are working with who needs some more specific attention from you. So let us start having a look at how these features are working and how to set them up. Let me jump to my demo account. This is it. And we will start at looking at our communication templates, which you will be using for the appointment automations. So we will go into the tools menu here, communication and templates. When you are looking into your account, I recommend you to look for some default templates that we already provide. When you started your trial with Zanda, you may already have some of those templates available. So let's look for the post-appointment templates, and here they are. You may already see some general care check-in emails and SMS available, and also some feedback request reminders. Let's have a look at them, and I will show you what is important to know about such templates. Let's open one of them. So the information that is important to know for your clients, this right-hand side settings, this is what the clients will see. The email from name, this is what they will see, that this is the business this email is coming from. Email from address, they will see that this is coming from this email address, and the subject of this email. So this is what this email is about. So make this as clear as necessary for your clients. Then the content, this is where you can include all your links, files, everything that you want to share with your client after their appointment. So for example, here I included the dynamic merge fields, for example, for the client portal URL. This is where the clients can rebook, and these are the instructions for the rebooking. Or if, for example, you don't have your client portal open, you can encourage them to book your business on your business phone number and to book a session through the phone. You can also enter some information about the recent appointment, and also please include the client-specific merge fields as well. And you can find all these dynamic merge fields here. Please use them to make the message as personal as possible. If you want to send a feedback survey, let me show you how that can be set up. Okay, let me just quickly jump back. There we go. So the feedback request, maybe you want to send an SMS feedback request, that's fine. So the survey link, you can insert the survey link wherever you set it up. So it can be a survey platform, it can be your Google survey link. So just copy the survey link wherever you set it up and paste it into your message template. Set up the rest of the template the way you want it and save it as well. And that's it. Your feedback survey request is set up and is ready for you to configure in the automation. The same way, you can set up your recall templates. They can also be set up for every type of recall you will be sending. As I said, it can be 3 months after the last appointment the client had in your practice, and it can be as an email or as an SMS. Let me show you one of the templates that I have here. What is interesting to know or important to know about this type of templates, you can share the information about the last appointment that your client had with your practice using the last appointment date merge fields. Again, here they are available through this list. Let me show you. And there are two types of these fields available: last appointment date and last appointment start date and time. You can copy either of them and add to your template message, and the system will check what is the last appointment the client had and will add that information into your message if you want to share it with your client. And again, you can encourage to book the next appointment in your template as well by adding your client portal URL or your practice phone number, just to share that rebooking information with your client. Wonderful, let's save that. So, as I said, create all your post-appointment follow-ups and recall messages here in the templates. You can create as many as you need, create emails, create SMSs, and once you are done, you are ready to set up your automations. Let us have a look at those. So we will go into account settings. And here in the communications tab, let us go into automations. So here they are. I have already set up a couple of them just to save us a little bit of time. Let me show you what they look like. So what is important to know here, each automation name should be unique, and it should also make sense for you and if you work in the team, so for everybody in your team, just the general purpose of this automation. So name it here and select the type of the automation that you create. So first we will be looking at the post-appointment automation. And now set up the conditions of this automation carefully. The appointment and the client for which this automation will be triggered should match all the conditions that you will select here. So for example, days after the appointment date. So for general care check-in, maybe 1 day after the appointment is fine to show you that you really care about your client. So I selected 1 day after the appointment date. The next condition that you can select is the appointment location. So it can be for all your location or for 1 or for 2. So just up to you. Then appointment status. It makes sense, of course, to select your confirmed appointment statuses. So confirmed, arrived, completed, the ones that show that the appointment has actually been happened and was provided to the customer, to the client. You can also narrow this down to a specific service type or specific appointments. Not all of them, maybe just some of them. Also, you can narrow this down to by appointment flags. Not all of them, maybe, or all of them, it's up to you again. Also by client status, by client type, only for your private clients, for example. Also, if you're using custom client classifications for your specific client groups, you can also select those here. And also you can narrow down this for your telehealth appointments if necessary. And then in the action type, you will select if you want to send an email follow-up or an SMS follow-up, or you can also select the task. This will generate the internal task for your client. For your team, not for your client. And then once you've selected the type, I selected the email here, you can then select which template you will use. I selected our general care post-appointment follow-up and then save the changes. So once you've set up this automation, what will happen? Every day at 2 p.m. your local time, so when your the time zone that your account is set up, the system checks the appointments and the clients, and it will trigger those messages for the appointments and the clients these conditions. That's how it works. That's how the timing of this automation work. So this is about the post appointment, and maybe let's also quickly configure our feedback. Feedback survey request, automation, post appointment, maybe 1 day while the client still remembers the appointment well. And also show me again, let me show you again maybe how to use the criteria, the conditions to really target this automation so it goes just to a specific group of clients, not to everybody. So for example, I decided to start providing telehealth appointments, and I want to receive the feedback from my clients about this type of appointment. So let me show you how to send this feedback only to my telehealth clients. So I will select telehealth location. Again, I will only select confirmed, arrived, and completed appointments, so the ones that happened. Service, I will select telehealth services only, appointment flag, telehealth, only to my active clients. Client type, only telehealth. Client classifications can go to all, and telehealth status enabled. This is the appointment status as well. And I will select my SMS feedback, and that's it, and save. So this is how I set up my feedback survey automation for my new telehealth appointments. That's it. And you can set up as many of such automations as necessary based on the type of information you want to collect or the type of message you want to send after an appointment. Now let us have a look at the recall automations. I have preset our 3 months follow-up to show you what it looks like. It is slightly different from the post-appointment. That's why we made them the different types. And let me explain you what the difference is. Again, give it a specific individual name. Then the type of the automation here, I selected recall. Now the days after the appointment date. Because I wanted to send this automation message 3 months after the last appointment of my clients, I set up the 90 days. And to let you know that this automation time span is from 1 day to 1 year. So from 1 to 365. So this is the time frame or the number of days that you can enter here. And then again, enter the additional information or the additional conditions to narrow down your the selection of the clients who will be receiving this recall message. Again, it can go to all appointment location types or just some of them, all appointment flags or some of them. Select the client status, client type, client classification, telehealth status. You will see here that you don't have the selection of the appointment status. But again, I will tell you that in the back end of the system, it is hard-coded that this automation only goes out for the appointments who have the like the positive appointment status, which is pending, confirmed, arrived, and completed. It will not send for appointments which have cancelled, rescheduled, late cancellation, or so those statuses that mean that the appointment didn't happen. So that's why the selection here is not provided. And again, we will select the action type, the message that we want to send. It can be just an email, or it can be a combination. So here I decided to send an email with a lot of information. So for example, I may choose to send information about the new services that I started providing since the last time I saw these clients. And I list all this information in the email because it gives me more space to show all this information. But I also am sending a short SMS recall SMS message saying, hello, I'm just checking in, and please also check your email for more information about my new services, something like that. Because we know it from statistics, it is a higher chance that the clients will check their SMS much faster after they receive the message on their phone, and they will read it, and then they will go and check the email for more information. And yes, the percentage of the checked messages is much, much higher on the phone rather than on the email. All right, so this is our 3 months recall. And let me also quickly set up together here with you another type of a recall message. For example, something like that, recall by phone. And let me show you what I meant by that. So I will select the recall type as well. And here I want to make this recall period much shorter, for example, 7 days. This will only be for my in-person clients. Appointment flags will be for my patients with mobility issues. Client status active and follow-up required. Client type, my private and NDIS. Client classification is elderly. And telehealth status can be all. That's fine. So the situation here is, for example, I have a number of patients who have some mobility issues who I know need my special attention. So I want to really check in on them very early on after their last appointment. And if they haven't rebooked after 7 days after their last appointment, I want to give them a quick phone call, but I don't want to bother them with an SMS or an email. I know that they might not check their phone, they might not check their computer, they may not be checking those at all. So in this case, instead of sending them those messages, I will set up a task, and I will just leave a quick note on the task here. Phone, something like that. Phone recall, 7 days. And save that. So what will happen? The system will check all my patients that have the elderly classification and have the mobility issues on their appointments, mobility issue flags on their appointments. That's right. So all the patients who match these classifications, and if they haven't rebooked 7 days after their last appointment flag, the task will come up here for me to give them a call, or for my team if I work in a like in a bigger practice, to give a phone call, just check in on this patient, see how they are, and help them book their next appointment, just to make sure that we really provide a specialized care to these patients. And this is how we can use these recall and follow-up automations to really provide good care to our patients, but not drown in the admin work. So this is basically how we use Zanda to set those up. Let me have a look if there is anything else I wanted to mention. So the recall automations also trigger, the system also checks the qualifying appointments and clients at 2 p.m. the local time every day, generates the messages and starts sending them in batch at 2 p.m. So basically between 2 and 3 p.m., all those messages will be sent. Excuse me. If you have clients who are under care by their parents, guardians, and so on, so you can send a copy of the automation message to them by setting up them as contacts to those clients. Let me quickly show you that setting. Yeah, that's my client. Excuse me. So when you have a patient or a client who needs that special care as well, you will add that parent, guardian, responsible person to them as a contact, and you will enable that automations switch here, so it will send all the automation communication to the client and a copy of that automation communication to that contact as well. And also, if you work with couples, with families, and so on, and you provide such care to them as well, you, I think, sorry. Family. We also provide a special type of a profile. We call them the shared profiles. So that's where you can create only one appointment. You can keep all the notes in one profile, but this is actually where you can link multiple individual profiles, multiple individual clients under one shared profile. And if this appointment qualifies to your post-appointment or recall or any other type of automation, the individual messages will be sent to every member of such qualifying profile as well. So this is just a little piece of information that is important to know as well. I think I have covered everything I wanted to share with you. Let me know if you have any questions for me that I haven't answered, something else you were interested to know. Let me have a look at the questions you have pre-submitted for me when you registered. And if I haven't covered this yet. So question from Vanessa: automation of reminders to book a review appointment and client satisfaction surveys. I think I've covered that. Vanessa, it just matters of how you word your communication template and the conditions that you set up in your automation. Kylie, how to reactivate clients and automations with reviews. Again, to reactivate clients, this is your recall automation, and send the information that is necessary to them in your templates. And automations with reviews, the same, I guess the post-appointment automation for that is the one to use. Suzanne, streamlining for automations and for professional experience of our business. I guess, yeah, really work on your communication templates. That's where you can really show your business brand and yeah, but and use the automations to really send the right message to the right client. Okay, let me know if you have any other question for me today. And if not, I am really grateful for you for joining me today. The recording of this workshop will be sent to you, I think, 24 hours after the live workshop, and you can start setting up just one automation, see how that works, see the benefits, and see how your admin workload gets smaller and how the care for your clients gets more, I don't want to say better. I am sure you are providing an excellent care already, but I really want your workload to become more manageable and efficient. So thank you very much. If you have more questions, please reach out to us at any time. Our customer team will be really happy to help you with the setup, with any questions you have to us about our automations, any other features that Zanda has to support you. And so thank you very much, and I hope to see you another time.